former senior Israeli official told me when I was doing the show from here yesterday, and this was a remote interview, that Benjamin Netanyahu is, and I quote him here, attempting to avoid reaching a deal with Hamas. Is that your understanding?
I mean, I don't want to go into this right now, Beyki, with the sensitivity of the negotiations. But what I can tell you is that there are those, including Netanyahu, who have the keys to securing a deal right now. We urge them to consider doing a deal right now, because every day that goes by is a risk to the life of the hostages, is a risk to the life of civilians in Gaza, and it's not in anybody's interest, especially the people of Israel and the security of Israel, for this war to continue. There are a lot of ways of ending this. There are a lot of ways of getting over the hurdle, at least of the humanitarian pause, and making sure that we have a way of securing more robust negotiations, and that can only happen if both sides agree on the deal right now.
I do want to press you on Hamas, as I've just pressed you on Benjamin Netanyahu. What do you make of the argument that Hamas is under no pressure in terms of agreeing to a temporary truce, while Israel has said effectively that there is no imminent timeline for their assault on Rafah? Ramadan had been a deadline, as far as Benjamin Netanyahu was concerned, for an assault on Rafah if this deal wasn't cut. Let me perhaps rephrase that: if the hostages were not released. If Hamas is not to be rooted out anytime soon, because Israel is not intent on going into Rafah with a full-on assault, does that leave Hamas in a better position and less willing to negotiate at this point?
Well, I can't speak on behalf of Hamas, Beyki, as you know, but what I can tell you right now, that the situation in Gaza, for all of those living in Gaza, 2.3 million people live in Gaza, including the families of people who are card-holding members of Hamas, including the leadership of Hamas itself, that Israel says are still in Gaza, are all living in the same conditions. You know, we have famine, we are seeing children dying out of malnutrition, we are seeing a daily count of death. More than 100,000 Palestinians are now either killed or injured in Gaza, and that is not a number that would leave any house without injuries or dead people, including the houses of people who belong to Hamas. So I wouldn't say that there is no pressure over Hamas right now. The pressures of the field are very real. The humanitarian pressures are very real, and I do believe that there are huge elements on both sides that want an end to this conflict, want a deal right now. But we have to make sure that those in charge understand the severity of the situation on the ground and the dangers of keeping it as is.